Hey everybody, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Ready to Die Fighting. I'm Chris. I'm in my basement with my, not this bike, that bike over there, Toxic Shock. And I'm having a bit of a problem with the brakes on this guy. So this one has hydraulic brakes. It's a little bit different from, well, completely different from the rest of the bikes that I have here. It uses these disc brakes. And there's some hydraulic fluid with a caliper. Oh, whoops. Here's the rear wheel over here. And that squeezes. But here's the thing. This bike also has, it's tubeless. So the tire doesn't have an inner tube in there. Instead, there's this fluid. Some stands, no tubes in there. And I suspect... I haven't topped this off or done anything with it in a while. And so I had an issue where a bunch of fluid seems to have gotten on the rotors, messed up the brakes. The front is far worse than the rear. The rear actually seems to be working pretty good. But if you look closely here, you can see I already cleaned the front wheel a little bit. Can you see this? There's like sticky white liquid on here, and it seems to have sprayed and gotten all over the place. And so I've cleaned these brakes off, the rotor off pretty well at this point. I used some alcohol, and now I'm using just some fine grit, what is this, 140 grit sandpaper, and I'm just trying to make sure all of that stuff is off of there, because it sounds like a flock of geese when you hit the brakes. It does stop, but it's like a type of noise, and it is obnoxious. I hate it so bad. So I'm trying to make sure I got all of that crap off of the brakes here. So I'm just sanding, and I don't have a lot of time because we're supposed to be going on a bike ride, a group bike ride, in just a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can get this cleaned up and ready to go in just a few minutes here. Alright, well now I'm going to take some more alcohol. Just kind of use that to rinse off. Do maybe some wet sanding. Hopefully get all this residue off. And I might be out of paper towel. I'm just going to put this right there for a second. Let's see if I can grab a clean rag of some sort. Let's use a clean t-shirt is good enough for me. Paper towels, so use what I got. Oh, whoops. Dry this off. Get that as clean and pure as I can. You know, like some car brake cleaner would probably work wonders here. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I probably should have showed you before I did that, but there's a few spots on this tire where if you look at the seams, you can see where some fluid was kind of squeezing out. So I'm going to just try if I can address that a little bit. by removing this. Okay, you might need to, I might have to get you in close here. I'm going to top off this sealant. I could just throw in an inner tube. That would probably solve my problem. Is that close enough? Let's see what I'm doing. So this is a valve core removal tool, and then just a little squirt bottle. Stands, tire sealant. And I'm just going to let this air out. This is a press the valve, so you can just unscrew it and press on it there. And I'm going to remove this core. Hopefully I'm doing this right. I haven't done this in a while, to be honest. There we go. Had to hold that still. So now, all the air is going to come out. So I took the core out. There's nothing inhibiting it whatsoever. Now, something you can do is take something like a zip tie. Let's see if this is skinny enough. And I'm just going to, nope, I need a smaller one. Where's the zip tie or a toothpick or anything that you can fit in that's going to be skinny enough to fit in there, and stick it in there. And that looks bone dry. So let's fill this up with some fluid. Some sealant. So I'm just going to use this whole thing. I'm just going to fill this up. Oop. Got it on my hands. And see if I can get this in here without spilling too bad. And I'm pretty sure it does say on the label how much to put. I feel like the best amount is some. There. I put some in there. Now I'm just going to spill something else, apparently. That's what happens when you rush. I'm trying to go quick here. I'm going to put my valve core back in there. To tighten it down a little bit more. Nice and tight. Spin it a few times here. Let that move around. Get mixed in there. Whoops, see? Here we go. And now let's put some air in. And I'm going to just put the core or the valve up here while I pump up the air, just so that you know, the fluid is down here and like we're not worried about it blocking it or anything. Now, if you really want to do a good job of this, you have to, or you should, take the whole thing apart, clean it up. You may need to put new rim tape in and whatnot. I don't have time for all that. I ain't doing all that. I'm just going to top off the fluid. And pump this up to, I think this only takes, it's pretty low pressure. I want to say it's 20? 25. We'll pump this up to 25 PSI, which really isn't much. I have to pump a lot to get up to 20 PSI, 25 PSI, because it's the tires are fat. There we go. There. So let's just clean that up a little bit. Might be a little too aggressive with the alcohol, but whatever. Get all that off there. And now we just need to ride this, to spin it around